Today on Sinder's Playground, I'm going to give you a brief history of the Hannibal Lecter film franchise and why we love the character. So stay tuned. Hello, thank you for checking out this week's podcast. And as I mentioned, we are talking Hannibal Lecter today, sir. Now, I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm going to save my questions to the end. But thank you for joining us. My name is Sinder.
And I'm Jose.
And yeah, I'm going to give you a brief history of this Hannibal Lecter film series, sir. So, okay, I have one question. You're a fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're both fans, and that's why we decided to do this. Plus, I got a request from one of my handful of listeners that it's like, hey, yeah, you guys should do Hannibal Lecter. Or just like, oh, okay. That is a good idea. Never even crossed my mind. What about you? You ever crossed your mind?
No.
Not me that because I guess because we haven't seen the character in so long, kind of just fades from our memory, But no, good choice. So, without further ado, here we go. Hannibal Lecter is a fictional character created by novelist Thomas Harris. All right, this is my first pause. Now, did you know he came from a book series?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I thought you mentioned it before.
No. I mean, what'd you call it? No, I just thought it was just some characters somebody just made up, but I didn't know that it was from a book series. Oh, well, maybe I did. I just plain forgot. But yeah, this rang out like new information for me, I guess, when I was doing my research. So yeah, I was like, oh, okay, these are based on books. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. Most movies are based on books.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I did not know that, but you did. Okay, interesting. Moving on. The novels, by this, have films also by the same names: Hannibal Rising, Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal. He is, a serial killer who eats his victims. Before his capture, he was a respected forensic psychiatrist. Psychiatrist. After his incarceration, he is consulted by Clarice Starling to help her solve her case and get some insight on how serial killer behaves. Now, that was just a quick overview. Now, we're going to go to the films. Yeah, this is in no particular order. Well, I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, I try to go in order they were released. As you know, if you do that, you're not going to go in chronological order. So that's what we're doing. Okay, now, first film is adapted by the first book, which is Red Dragon. But the film adaptation was 1986's Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, so yeah, it's an old ass movie. Michael Mann. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh man, he did what do you call it? I mean, he's borderline with me. I want to say he's not one of my favorite directors, but he's okay. But he did Heat, The Insider, the Ali movie with that douchebag Will Smith, Collateral, and the Miami Vice movie. So those are some films. So
So he has some good films in his belt.
yeah, what you call it? But in this film, Lecter is played by Brian Cox, who you know who that is. No.
Maybe.
He's from he was in the Born Identity series, but the first three, and X2 and Troy. I mean, I think he's a good actor. He plays a really good bad guy. So he played Hannah in the very first movie adaptation of this series. Uh, Cox based his performance on the real life Scottish serial killer Peter Mannell, um, and which I didn't even look up. I mean, I brought up his Wikipedia page real quick, but I didn't go into detail of reading it. I was like, okay, so this is a real person. What do
You
you
just
call?
wanted to make sure that person.
Yeah. Yeah. William Patterson plays FBI agent Will Graham, whose character we will see return in Silence. Um, Manhunter had a budget of 15 million and gross 8 million in North America. It had a very limited global release. The film focuses on Graham coming out of retirement to lend his talents to an investigation in a series of murders. Um, the press has called the Tooth Fairy, and he comes in contact with Lecter himself, and that's basically uh, the movie. I mean, I don't want to give too much away in case you want to go check it out. So, but yeah, uh, Manhunter. Now, before I move on, so have you heard about that film, or did you even know there was something before Silence?
All right, I think I heard again. I think I heard you talk about that, but I never watched it.
Okay. I mean, you probably could watch it on YouTube. It's like that old.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. But actually, little side tangent here. Yeah, I didn't know there was something before Silence too. Like the first time I saw Silence, and then an older friend of mine, what do you call it, who worked at a video store, and then he suggested it. He's like, "Oh, you should watch this, man. If you like Silence, you watch this." He's like, "This is before." Like,
he dropped some knowledge
yeah,
on you.
I'm like, really? You're like, yeah. So I watched it. I was like, oh, it's good, man. It was good. What do you call it? Not as graphic as Silence, but still, especially like when you compare the two people who play Lecter, it's kind of like night and day. I think Brian Cox is a good actor, but I don't know. I thought it could have been better. Uh, Performance could have been better, or maybe I don't know. I just think Anthony does it better. That's just my opinion, and everything like that. But yeah, if you want to see like the very first Hannibal Lecter film, watch Manhunter. Like I said, probably watch it on YouTube, and I'm sure it's on some kind of streaming service, which I didn't look up. But yeah, you can definitely check that out. Um, and yeah, so moving on. Wait, looking at where they can watch it.
Yeah. So yeah, you could watch it on Amazon Prime, YouTube, and the rest. Like it's on Apple TV, Redbox, Vudu.
Okay, yeah. So basically, like I said, basically most platforms you can watch it on. All right, so now we go to 1991's Silence of the Lambs. Produced and distributed by Orion Pictures and directed by Jonathan Demme, um, whose probably most notable film that I can find, and I mean, or that I would have any interest in, and the one film I did watch was 2004's remake of The Manchurian Candidate, starring Denzel Washington. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, okay. So Manchurian Candidate is a remake. Well, the 2004 one is a remake of the 19, I want to say 60s Manchurian Candidate, which is a very good film. I like the concept. It's a very original idea. Um, I'm not gonna go into it, but especially with people being programmed, and not knowing they're being programmed, and then on a sequence of words to just go into like robot mode and just do whatever the person said, which includes, assassinations and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of like that, because such an original idea, and it's cool. So I like it. Anyway, though, going back to Silence, it had a budget of $20 million and grossed $275 million. Starring Jodie Foster as Clarice and Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. Originally, Jonathan Demme wanted Sean Connery for the role, but he turned it down. Hopkins was offered the role because of his performance in 1980's The Elephant Man. You ever see that film?
No.
Do you know what it is, though?
No.
It's not one of my favorite films, but
it's a good watch.
It's it's slow, but I do like the story. It's about this guy who's he just deformed with a deformity, and he has to like live through it like his whole life, and you see all the ridicule and suffering he goes through. It's kind of sad when it's kind of sad when I think about it. Think about it. Yeah, I want to say I probably only watched it once. Because it's hard. It's a hard watch. It's a hard watch, man. So Anthony Hopkins, shine in that. So Jonathan Demme said, "Yeah, I want that guy." If Sean turned it down, cool. Oh, funny side note though, Anthony Hopkins has said this on interviews. When he told his agent, when his agent told him the name of the script, his first question, is this a kid's film? Oh, but he did sit down and read the first 10 pages, and then after that, he just stopped, called his agent back, and said, "This is the best part I've ever read. I'm in." And for those of you who don't know, what's good. Clarice is an FBI trainee pulled from Quantico by her boss and is assigned her to interview Hannibal Lecter to see how the mind of a serial killer works, also to see if he can help capture Buffalo Bill, the main villain in the film. The film has been praised since its release. It was the highest grossing film that year. Empire magazine ranked it 48th in its list of greatest films of all time. The American Film Institute named it the 5th greatest film ever made. Bonus fact, little side fact that I found out. So one more thing I didn't know. The iconic mask Hannibal wears when being transported was created by Ed Kerberly. Sorry if I butchered your name. Who is from Frenchtown, New Jersey. He primarily makes NHL masks for goalies, but does freelance stuff too.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Neither did I. Yeah, that's what happened with Silence of the Lambs. Okay, let's just stop and just take this in for a minute. Did I? Yeah, I didn't ask you about individual films on my question sheet, so I'm gonna ask you now. First time you saw Silence and your reaction to it after your first viewing of it.
Probably saw that I want to say 5 years ago.
What, for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh man, so you didn't watch it in the few years after it came out?
No.
Damn.
I saw it 5 years
ago.
I'm really new to Hannibal.
Okay. Damn. All right. So what'd you think after you watched it?
I thought it was really good. I like how they like the character that Anthony Hopkins plays. Hannibal is so he gets in your brain.
Oh yeah, he's devious. Yeah. He's intelligent. He's manipulative. Yeah, he's the perfect villain. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, I mean,
and I like how they just approached it.
Yeah, like I said.
How about you?
Well, I mean, I saw this maybe the year it came out. Kind of dated myself, but I don't care. The again, this was a recommendation for me from one of my friends. I was in high school at the time. Again, dating myself. And then one of my best friends, who's a big horror fan, as am I, and he was like, Donis, Sinder, you should watch this. I was just like, why? He's like, trust me, you and I both like the same shit. You will like this, man. So he let me borrow it, and then I was like, damn, this shit is dope. And it was probably my first ever psychological like horror film because that's what I categorize this as. Psychological horror. So, and it just had a great it was a different experience for me for film because at that time I was just watching the slashers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and didn't really get into like a thinking man story, if you will, where like you had to think, a little bit, so yeah, like I thoroughly enjoyed it, and then I was just like, man, no, like this is good. And this guy, was Hannibal. It's like, man, he just awesome performance, man. Like I said, and I would give Jodie her due too, man, because this is probably the best thing I like her in, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Uh,
she played the part really well too.
yeah, man. And yeah, and especially do that southern accent because she's not southern. So to do that, man, all through the filming and everything, I'm just like, man. So big props to her too. And yeah, so what do you think about like you know, the Film Institute of America, naming it the fifth. Is it the fifth best film? Yeah, the fifth best film ever made. Yeah,
I could see that. I could definitely see that the way that the movie was the way the movie was done. I could sit with that.
yeah, me too. Like, yeah, I have no qualms about that placement. Like I said, what I should have did was look up the top five,
I lost yeah.
which I didn't.
I didn't really pay too much about Empire. You know why?
Oh yeah, because of their superhero list. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I just thought I would mention it. I mean, it's on their list, so whatever. All right, so that came out in 1991, bro. So coming off of that, we go to 2001's Hannibal, directed by who? Ridley Scott. Who directed Alien? Yay, man! I have no idea he did this until I did my research. It's like, oh, okay, damn, he did this. Oh man, he's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, just like bro. So Hannibal had a budget of $87 million and grossed $350 million. A decade. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into the story real quick. A decade after tracking down the serial killer Buffalo Bill, Special Agent Sterling is blamed for a botched drug raid, which results in 5 people's death. Forced to take leave, she is then contacted by Mason Verger, the only victim to survive Lecter. Since his escape, Lecter hasn't been seen. Verger has been paralyzed and disfigured by Lecter since his attack on him, and has been pursuing an elaborate scheme to capture and torture Lecter as payback. Using his wealth and influence, he has Starling reassigned to the case, hoping to draw Lecter out. Now, that's all I'm going to say about this film. But yeah, have you seen this one?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I have to put it on my to watch.
Yeah. I like this one. I'm trying to see which one I probably watch more. No, honestly, besides Silence, I've probably seen the rest of them just once. you know. But yeah, this no, this is good. I mean, it's Ridley Scott, who's awesome. Well, he did Alien, so that gets him a pass with me. Like I said, anything he's doing, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And I'm sure I saw this, but I know I saw this, I should say, but I don't remember if it was in the theaters or just like at home. But definitely did see this. Like definitely something I think I want to go back and take a look at again. Um, so yeah, so Hannibal, man, very good, and highly recommend it. Haven't seen it. Okay, next though, go to 2002 with the release of Brett Radner. Have you heard that name before, sir?
No.
uh, okay. Oh, bro. This guy who worked on such shitty films as The X-Men Last Stand, War Dogs, Tower Heist, and Horrible Bosses. And I will also like to mention he was part of the big Hollywood purge of women speaking out against Hollywood people for sexual harassment and other uh, illegal activity. I'm gonna pause there for a second. So yeah, Brett Radner. I
Oh, I
did.
remember that name now.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, he's part of that whole, women coming out speaking against people in Hollywood. So he's a piece of trash. But he did direct Red Dragon. So I guess I have to give him a little bit of credit. I mean I really don't. Not going to. I'm just listing facts. He directed this film, you know. So I just want to point that out. So for you who what do you call it? Who look at directors and stuff they did. So yeah, this guy, piece of trash, and he directed Red Dragon. Moving along. It had a budget of $78 million and grossed $210 million. This is a prequel to Silence, taking place in 1980. FBI agent Will Graham, who I mentioned before, who was in Manhunter, visits the forensics psychiatrist Hannibal Lecter to discuss a case. Graham has been working on with Lecter to profile a serial killer. Graham, who is sure the killer is a cannibal, but but doesn't know that Lecter is the man he's hunting. So yeah, you said you saw this one though, right? Red
Yeah,
Dragon.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, they call it. I saw it obviously, but I don't yeah, I don't remember that well. What do you call it? Is this one that had Edward Norton in it?
Yeah, that's the one with Edward Norton.
Okay, all
if I
right.
remember correctly.
Got you. Like I said, so prequel before Manhunter, in chronological order, even though Manhunter came out first, but story wise, I I liked it. It was good. It was good, you know what? I mean, I didn't think about this while I was doing my research, but I might want to like get these books.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the books are probably amazing.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm sitting here thinking about that. Man, the books are probably even awesome. Like I said. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind like reading these and everything like that because I'm sure they're have more stuff in it than these films. But yeah, that was Red Dragon, man. And so now going on. uh, we fast forward to 2007. We get Hannibal Rising, directed by Peter Weber, who really has no major films to his credit. So yeah, obviously, I don't know. I guess this studio wanted to take a chance. I was like, hey, or just want to be cheap. It's like we hired this guy. He hasn't done shit. He'll take any paycheck. But it had a budget of $50 million and it grossed $82 million. This is another prequel. Yes, this franchise has two prequels. Uh, this film tells the story of how Hannibal grew up and him seeing the bloodshed of World War II. Having no one but his sister, they put in an orphanage. Lecter escapes the orphanage to Paris and lives with his aunt. While in France, he excels as a student, but we also witness his first murder, him killing a local butcher who insults his aunt and leaves his head in front of the police station. Um, he goes to become the youngest person to ever be admitted to a French medical school, and we see him in his young adult years and see what shapes him into the man uh we know he'll become. Have you seen this one?
No.
Okay. I want to say I've seen it, but I don't remember it. Yeah. And yeah, so Hannibal Rising, this 2007, so this is the last one, you know. Um I I mean, do you like that though? If film franchise, I guess I'll say that if they go back to show you how this person became this person.
Yeah, if it's done well, if it's done good, I like it.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean,
I feel like there's so much things that came out of Silence of the Lambs that were like, oh yeah, we should have done this, and like, I guess they just needed to do the prequel to be able to address
oh,
some
some
of the
things,
stuff.
you know, but I mean, they kind of taking a Star Wars approach, if you will,
Yeah.
because you know Star Wars. I mean, we jump in the middle of the saga pretty much for with A New Hope, you know, then go go through that story, and then George went back, you know, to the beginning, saw how, and we see how Vader becomes Vader. So this is basically how Hannibal becomes the Hannibal that we know. And yeah, I don't mind. Like I said, I mean, I kind of want to watch these now. I mean, I wasn't when I was doing my research, but now,
Yeah, talking about it
yeah,
and hearing it, and you're like, wow, like this pieces this together.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, tell us. Well, don't tell us because you there's no comments on here. But like I said, I would like to do, like I said, if you guys have seen all these, which one is your favorite? So, which is your favorite? Well, you only seen one, right?
Two.
What you seen? Silence and Red
Red
Dragon.
Dragon,
Okay,
yeah.
uh,
I like Silence more than Red Dragon.
obviously.
But yeah, they were both really good, I think. I like both of them.
Okay, okay. Damn, I think I asked you this
I
question.
wanna I
What?
wanna
What?
see Hannibal Rising.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I mean, like I said, you can track them down and watch them, man. Yeah. Um. Okay, so actually, I asked you much of my questions already. So, but there's two more that I haven't asked you, which is, uh, do you want to see another one? And if so, do you want to see Anthony return as Lecter?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to see another one with Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, well, then that was
How
that was easy.
about you?
Um, yeah, I guess before it gets too old, you know, I want to see it. And I mean, do you think should they ever do a reboot of this or no?
Um, I wouldn't mind it
Really?
for the culture. I mean, I don't know. It kind of I know that they have series that has a different actor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he does a good job or not in it.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, I'd rather see a new one with Anthony Hopkins than
A
a
reboot.
remake,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
In my opinion.
No, I feel the same way. Like I said, because again, we go back to iconic characters. I don't think anybody can do Hector like Anthony Hopkins. Like I said, and to see somebody else in the role, just to me, wouldn't sit right. And then I would,
Hard shoes to fill.
yeah, hard shoes to fill, man. Except, but I'm sure somebody will do it though. You know, like 10, well, maybe not that long, but you know, 6, 10 years from now, someone, let's do Silence of the Lambs again, or let's do Manhunter. Just start from the beginning. Now, if somebody did Manhunter and did it that way, you know, and do chronological order, I mean, I would like to see that, but again, on the other hand, you know, who you gonna get? Yeah,
Yeah.
who you gonna get, man? You know, this is his most iconic role, obviously, and the one he's most known for. You know, and like I said, it's perfect for the role. You know, certain actors are perfect for certain projects. You know, this is why they keep doing sequels of said project because they're so good at it, and that's people want to see them as that character. So yes. So yeah, no reboot for me. That's my vote. And yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him return one more time. Before he gets too old and do it. So, but I mean, at this point though, it would have to be original story, which I don't care because yeah, these are all the books. So do an original story with him. That's fine. I would like to see it for sure. So you have any questions for me?
Which one's your favorite?
Oh, silence. Come on. Yeah.
And what's next?
Probably Hannibal, to be honest with you. And then I go Red Dragon and then Hannibal Rising, to be honest. Yeah, that would be my order, you know. Um it's well, why do you like the character? I didn't ask that.
Well, I kind of answered. He's very like he gets in your head, and he knows the mind. He knows the mind and the body.
He does. He does. He definitely does, man. Well, being a psychiatrist, so obviously he knows how to get in people's heads and what makes most people tick. So that, and then yeah, and obviously he's familiar with the human body because he consumes them, and I would assume that he's had some medical practice somewhere along his way, which we'll probably see in those two prequel films. I just don't remember at the moment. Um, I just like him because he's just cold, calculating, smart, devious, cunning, and like I said, all the attributes you want in your villain. And then like I said, and you would feel like yeah, like especially in Hannibal, like yeah, you're kind of rooting for him, because this guy who has this vendetta against him just because Hannibal defaced him. So he's, I don't want to say sympathetic, but you kind of you know want to see him get out of it. You know, so yeah, he's a cool character. I just like it, and I like Anthony Hopkins. He's the best at it. And we'll see. Like I said, in the next few years, if he'll come back to it and do it one more time. Like I said, all the books are done, so it would have to be an original story, which I wouldn't mind. Yeah, just make some shit up, man. Just make it good.
Yeah.
Just make it good and a compelling story. I would be all on board for an original Hannibal Lecter film. But like I said, brief history of the films, and everything like that. This was another fun one for me, discovering about information I didn't know about this film and the character and everything. If you enjoyed this brief history of the Hannibal Lecter films, uh, give us that 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to this to. We could really appreciate it. I am Sinder. If you can contact me on Instagram on Sinder666. Post about the show. Post about cool shit I find on the interwebs. And just silly shit as well. Throw it over to this guy.
And I'm Jose. You can contact me on Instagram at JoseCE90. And yeah, just if you want to go in the DMs and let us know any show suggestions like this show is a suggestion.
Oh yeah.
Let us know and we'll definitely try and make an episode out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, my bad. I didn't mention that. Yeah, this was a request from somebody I work with, and and I thought it was a good idea, so I brought it to this guy's attention. He was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So here we are. Again, thanks for listening, and I am Cinder. This is Jose. We will talk to you guys later.
Peace out.